Cougs getting ready to take on the Kansas Jayhawks, and here with me now is the kicker, the hero from the BYU Utah game, Will Ferrin, who now this week at practice it's been fun to see, like the go-to guy for autographs. How fun has that been this week?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been crazy. You don't realize that in the moment. It's such a small perspective. And then when you get out of it, it's cool to see the reaction of everyone and just how much people care about it. So it's been fun.
The care factor, when you say that, I think of those comments you shared at Rice Eccles about your first memories of BYU Utah and just growing up a BYU kid. I mean, there's a lot of care in this program, this fan base. They love this team.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's cool. And it's cool. I mean, my brothers played lacrosse here, so I remember going to those games and following the football team and just being a part of all that. And I feel the same way now, so it's just cool to be here.
How wild has this week been for you after, a game-winning kick against rival Utah, first win in Salt Lake for this program since 2006? Has it been kind of a lot to juggle for you?
It's been a lot, but it's been fun. Like coming back and all the students at the SAB. That's typically I kind of steer away from that stuff. I'm like, just get out of there and get home. Some of my teammates have been really good though at like kind of forcing me to enjoy the moment a little bit. Like the crowd surf and stuff. I did not want to do that at all, but I'm happy I did. It's a cool moment that I'll get to enjoy for a while. But my teammates have been huge and just like helping me to enjoy that and get the most out of that.
Any new NIL deals? I know we saw the one with Chubby's, but anything else? Because that sometimes can happen when you have a big moment like this.
Nothing really. There's been like people making T-shirts and stuff that I'm sure will come out soon, but that's pretty much the extent of it. I've kind of taken the focus more towards Kansas, so we'll see what else happens.
How do you feel like you and this team are dialed in for Kansas prep and turning the page? Because you guys have been so good at that this year, kind of checking everything out at Monday and then getting ready for the next task. How do you feel the prep's been this week?
It's been really good. It's good that like through the season we've had the things that, like as a team we know that we are, where it's like we know we're a unified team. We know we're a team that focuses on the task at hand, that we stay in the moment. And those things, it kind of turns into our identity, which helps us in moments like this where it's like you're in an emotional game, you have an emotional win, and then being able to put that behind you. It's harder than a normal game, obviously, but we've done it so many times that now it's routine that once we get to practice on Tuesday, practice on Wednesday, we're focused on what we're doing. We're focused on Kansas and the next task at hand.
When you lay out all those, kind of pillars of this team, it's a far different look than last year against Kansas. The first Big 12 game, you guys have evolved so much. Was there any lessons learned, you think, for the team at that time in that first Big 12 test to now that, really it's kind of helped this program evolve?
I don't know about specific lessons. I think the biggest thing is just the culture. Where we got to go through that together. It's a very similar team now to what it was last year. So we all experienced that together. We experienced an off season together. We had time to grow together, just to build relationships. And I think that's probably the biggest piece, where it's not like a specific lesson of this is something we were doing wrong, but more so we just got to grow and find like new levels that we haven't seen before, I guess.
We're doing this interview outside, and it's cold tonight. And I want to ask, how do you stay warm? It's expected to be cold on Saturday night, late night game against Kansas. What do you do as like the kicker to make sure you're warm? It's when the moment you're called, you feel like you're in a good spot, not feeling cold. How do you keep yourself warm on the sideline?
The sidelines actually aren't super bad. We have the heated benches and then heaters on the other side of them. So like typically a cold game, I'll just go sit on that bench for a little bit, get my body warm, maybe have the foot in front of the heater for a second if I need to, and then go to the net. And at the net, it's a lot different kicking into a net than kicking on a field. At the net, I'm just trying to feel good ball contact and feel like my legs are ready to swing. And once I feel like that, then I'm just ready to go. So usually the sideline doesn't stay too bad. But
how many attempts in a normal game week do you typically get in like these practices? Like, what's your workload in a game week?
Yeah, kicking's a lot like pitching, actually, where we have our kick count, the amount of times that we're kicking at this practice or this practice. So our Wednesday practice, so today, didn't kick, at least didn't kick full. So you work on some of the specialty stuff, maybe some onside kicks, some sky kicks, whatever we have working on. But we won't exert as much. But then our Tuesday and Thursday practices is full kicking. So we'll go through a full field goal period where maybe we get our normal warm up, and then the field goal period we'll get 7, 8 reps with the whole team, and then whatever else we do through that day, and then a kickoff period, and then after Thursday we're just waiting until the game. So it's a lot of resting and being conscious about how much we're using our legs so that we still have power and that we can still be explosive come Saturday.
It's good stuff. Do you prefer the late night games as a kicker? I mean, does that the routine? Do you like the late games?
It doesn't matter to me. It's cool being under the lights, but you got to wait all day for them too. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's nice to get up and play a game right away, but it's also cool being under the lights. So they all have their perks for sure.
Last thing for you, Jake just walked by and said "Big Game Bill." Is that your nickname?
I don't know. There's so many right now. Jake, the Coach Mitchell, I think, used that after the Oklahoma State game.
Yeah.
Now that's what some people are using, I guess. So not a lot, but the guys that use it a ton. So
What other nicknames does the team have for you?
I don't know. I hear new stuff every time I run into people.
So you're always open to suggestions.
Whatever people use is just fine with me.
As long as it goes for that uprights, it's all good.
As long as the ball flies straight.
That's right. Well, Will, thanks for the time. Congrats on that big kick, and looking forward to some bigger kicks down the road.
For sure. Appreciate it.